Alright, now the last thing we do anytime we install a brand new winch is put some tension on the cable. And when a winch comes from the factory, there is no tension on that cable. So when you take it out and start winching in a crisis recovery situation, the cable is in a condition where it can either slip, knot up, or become bound on itself because the cable is not wound tightly onto the drum. So for this situation, and we can do it here in suburbia, find a good strong tree, find a nice open area where you're not going to be in anybody's way, obviously a nice safe area. Use gloves anytime you are handling recovery equipment. Lock this into free spool. Pull out the cable. A good strong tree, and of course always using rated recovery gear. We've got the ARB strap there, a rated bow shackle. Make sure that is all safe and secure, and this is where we want to start tightening up that cable right onto the drum. What we need Tom to do here is start the motor, back the vehicle up, get the rope to its full length, then wind it in under a nice controlled situation. You'll also note that we're not using a winch dampener at the moment. Here, we're not applying enough tension for it to be a safety issue, so we don't need a winch dampener. Make sure that the winch cable, before you start, is nice and neat, fingers clear, and use clear hand signals as well. Here we just want Tom to pinch it in. Looking for the tension on the cable. We're now at a point where there's enough tension on the cable, and this will all go smoothly. We're now close enough where we can finish the job off by hand. We've got a fantastic amount of cable on there with a nice amount of tension. We now need Tom to take a little bit of tension off, unhook that, and simply guide the rest on by hand. We want to run this in a very controlled fashion. So give yourself about 1.5 meters. Stop it there, check the cable's all right on the drum, hold onto the hook and just pinch it in one step at a time. Nice and controlled. Now, a lot of people like to go off these ARB recovery points here and here. Now, for a couple of reasons, I think that's a bad idea. First of all, too much tension on these points will actually bend them over. And secondly, with your cable out on these points, the cable is actually stretched across the roller here and also out here, which means that if you do hit any rocks or hard surfaces, the cable here can be pinched and damaged. Also, the hook here on this point can be pinched and damaged. The hook can also become wedged in that small hole there and create some problems when you need to go to recover. The way that I like to do it is a good grip on the hook there, a little bit of pinch, run it in square, small pinch, and simply fold the hook over. Now if you're worried about whether that is tight enough, one small pinch will lock that in place, and that will be nice, safe and secure there and tucked well away from any damage to the front of the vehicle. Tom now has his brand new EP9 Super Winch ready to rock and roll. Now the next thing that Tom has to do working here for 4 Wheel Drive TV is go out and test it. I think you should enjoy that, having a good weekend. Now, one thing we will mention, don't forget, this is a series of winch tests that we're going to be doing. We have a fantastic Warn winch from ARB we're going to be looking at, and a TJM hydraulic winch to make some comparisons between hydraulics and different sorts of electrics. We'll see you next time on 4 Wheel Drive TV when we're testing more winches.